Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 176. Tesla soars ahead in the European EV market as new car sales surge by 18%. Nevada is signing a new law that will make Tesla semi-truck the bargain of the century. And Tesla had some huge news this week about their AI business. And we have more jumping on board Tesla's North American charging standard. And Tesla should be in the process of buying a wireless charging company. And Elon says Tesla will invest in India in the coming years after meeting up with the Prime Minister again. And the Tesla Model Y won yet another award this week, and Ford CEO was out saying that the Cybertuck was not for people that need a real pickup truck. Okay then. All of this and much more on today's episode. Start right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla soars ahead in the European EV market as new car sales surge by 18%. In the first 5 months compared to last year, Tesla has the biggest growth in Europe. You can also see how Tesla has moved up 2 places on the rankings, and therefore is now a top 10 automaker group in Europe. Even though Tesla is not a group but just a brand, so very impressive, as this is of course not EVs but the overall car market. Tesla grew 122% in the first 5 months, and Mazda took the second place with 37% growth. So Tesla grew more than 3 times as much as the one with the second most growth. In terms of market share, Tesla has clearly gained the most, from 1.4 to 2.6%, so up 86% in market share. Of course, April and May are artificially big in growth as Shanghai was locked down last April, but still Tesla is the one that is growing the fastest in Europe and is gaining market share. But Gordon Johnson's saying they're losing market share. Yes, EV market share. As more come into the EV market, Tesla will of course lose their very big dominance. But the only real market share to keep an eye on is of course the overall market share. And Tesla just grew 86% in the overall car market in Europe. Wonder what Gordon Johnson has to say about that. But the European new car registrations increased 18% in May as demand for electric cars outpaced the broader market. Registration in the EU, EFTA and the UK markets were 1.12 million vehicles compared with the 948,000 in the same month last year, according to data from the industry association ACEA. Not all are doing great. Mercedes and BMW are unfortunately going backwards. Wonder who is stealing the market from those guys? And here is a list, also from Roland, of 14 countries that has already sold more Teslas year to date than they did in the entire of 2022. But a couple of days later, 4 more countries joined the party. Not bad either. And now we have 6 countries above 25% BEV market share here in Europe. All the Scandinavian countries and the Netherlands. Very nice. And in last week's news shows, I did report on the sales numbers for the US, where the Model Y was sitting at the top with no competition in sight. But the Model Y was not just the best-selling EV, it was the second best-selling vehicle of any kind in the US, only beaten by the Ford F-150 ICE version. The Model Y more than doubled its US registration in January to April, as I showed last week, but that made it America's #1 passenger car and second best-selling vehicle overall. Not bad either. But let's pause right there. Let's just take 1 minute break to get a quick word from today's sponsor, Blinkist. You probably heard me rave about them before. You know, the cool app that filters an entire book into bit-sized summaries, or blinks that are just 10 to 15 minutes long. Perfect for us busy bees. But guess what? There is a new feature called Blinkist Spaces. Imagine your own personal book club right there at your fingertips. Blinkist Spaces allows you to create a virtual space with your friends and family where you can share and recommend titles to each other. And the awesome part, even without Blinkist Premium subscription, all members can access every title shared within the space. So guess who got their own Blinkist space? Yours truly, of course. I've created Best in Tesla Learning Space, where I'm sharing my top picks whether you want to level up your health or learn innovative thinking from the incredible Simon Sinek or just master the art of learning. So click the link below to sign up for a 7-day free trial and get a whopping 25% of Blinkist annual premium using my promo link down below. But wait, there is more. Also find the link to my shared spaces Best in Tesla Learning Space. So, my friends, treat yourself to the treasure trove of knowledge with Blinkist. Come join me and together let's make every day a day of growth. And a huge shout out and thanks to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. I think people are really not getting the consequences of the Cybertruck. Many think it's for a niche market. Even Ford CEO was out saying it is not for the people that need a real pickup truck. I think he's going to eat his words. So, Jim Farley said this week, "The reality is America loves an underdog, and we are the market leader for EV trucks and vans, and we know these customers better than anyone. And if Elon Musk wants to design a Cybertruck for Silicon Valley people, fine. It's like a cool high-end product parked in front of a hotel. But I don't make trucks like that. I make trucks for real people that do real work, and that's a different kind of truck." I think this will age very poorly. Not just because the Cybertruck is the most pre-ordered vehicle in history with more than 1.5 million reservations, but this Cybertruck will be able to do much more than anything Ford has to offer in the pickup line. And I think that is probably why Jim is out saying this. Firstly, because some saw Ford joining Tesla's supercharging network as Ford and others, of course, submitting to Tesla by doing so. Secondly, I think Jim is a little afraid of what the Cybertruck could do to Ford's business, as we already know what the Model Y and 3 did, and they only had 1/3 of the reservations of the Cybertruck. And the thing is, the Cybertruck is not just made to look weird to get attention. It is designed the way it is because of the engineering behind it. It is going to be a far superior pickup truck than the F-150 Lightning, with much more range, much faster charging. Tesla haven't even told us the full charging speed yet. It will be able to carry more, tow more, and do so much more. We don't even know all the features yet either. And on top of all of that, the car doesn't dent or rust, so this will no doubt be a much better working truck, a real working truck than the F-150 Lightning or any other of the F-150 series. Remember this video from 3 years ago with the Ford pickup truck built tough.
There's nothing there. Brand new, 1,500-pound load. Snapped the anchor, came right out the side. There's nothing to these aluminum beds. Look at this. Look how thin this is. Oh, it's gonna break right off. Look at that. Yep. Don't buy a Ford.
Yeah, that will not happen with your Cybertruck. That's built tough, real tough, not big boy tough.
You want a truck that's tough? You want a truck that's really tough, not fake tough?
So yeah, I think Jim is just trying to cast a little shade on Tesla because they're scared of this monster. Remember how Ford tried to throw a little shade on the Model Y because one glass roof fell off, and then Ford had the same problem? But they were probably also scared of the Model Y. And for good reasons. The car they tried to cast some shade on became the best-selling car in the world. And Ford's competitor to the Model Y, the Mach-E, is hardly a blimp on the radar for Tesla. So what will the most capable electric vehicle on the planet, and probably the most value for money electric vehicle on the planet, and the most pre-ordered vehicle in history do to Ford's F-150 Lightning? When it will be sitting just next to it at a Tesla supercharger, and the Lightning will be able to pull a max charging speed of 150 kilowatt, and the Cybertuck might be able to pull something like 4 times that. So be done long before the F-150 that will end up having 40% less range, even though it's been charging for much longer. Yeah, I don't think this will age very well, Jim. Yeah, I think you're going to eat your words.
Yeah, it was uphill.
Nevada is signing a new law that will make Tesla's semi-truck the bargain of the century. The governor, Joe Lombardo, signed Assembly Bill 184, the Nevada Clean Truck and Bus Incentive Program, into law this month. It provides incentive for Nevada-based businesses and public organizations who own gas and diesel-powered trucks and buses to switch to electric vehicles. There are different incentives depending on the type of truck it is, but the heaviest gross-vehicle weight rating is the Class 8 truck and has a base incentive of $175,000. I don't expect Tesla to keep their original price of the semi-truck from 2019 of $150,000 or $180,000, but let's just say they're gonna sell them for about $250,000. That would mean that businesses would be able to buy a Tesla semi-truck in Nevada for only $75,000. That is less than your Tesla Model S or the Tesla Model X. This could make sure that every single business in Nevada is going to want to buy a Tesla semi-truck. We already know it will pay itself off in maintenance and fuel cost in something like 3 years. Now Nevada businesses are going to pay it off in something like 8 months, making this the biggest no-brainer in the transportation sector. And it will of course not just help Tesla sell semi-trucks in Nevada, but it will also be very good for the air quality in Nevada. John Packman, Policy Director of Nevada Public Health Association, said, "Public health organizations across Nevada support the incentive in zero-emission transportation because we know it is critical to improve air quality. Establishing the Nevada Clean Truck and Buses Incentive Program will reduce harmless greenhouse gas emissions and protect the air we breathe." But I did make a whole video about this week, so if you want to take a deep dive into this and see how badly Hyundai's new hydrogen Class 8 truck does against the Tesla semi-truck, because that's quite shocking, check the video out, link down below. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Tesla's Cybertruck has just landed in New Zealand, probably for winter testing. So can't wait to see some more new cool winter videos from Tesla with the Cybertruck ripping up some snow. And a good indication that we are still on track to get this beast later this year. And some big news. Tesla's monster AI computer Dojo is already up and running. As Elon wrote on Twitter, it has been online running useful tasks for a few months. Nice. Bring on the data. And it seems like they will do exactly that next month. This is big. As Herbert said on Twitter, with Dojo in production next month, the likelihood of full self-driving seeing exponential improvement and Tesla Bot becoming viable just went supernova. Exactly. Dojo came later in the game than we first expected, but now it's here, and Tesla expect to increase its capabilities by an order of magnitude this year and an order of magnitude next year, as Elon also talked about at Investor Day. This is going to be a game changer. I am already very optimistic about Tesla's full self-driving getting close this year, but that also went up an order of magnitude. But this deserves a video on its own, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of AI, Tesla's AI that is buying and selling energy for its owners through the Powerwall is going wild, as Abe wrote on Twitter, shared by Tesla Energy. And we shared on Twitter the price he saw. Tesla AI selling excess energy from my Powerwall at $5.52, while buying at $0.11 per kilowatt hour is an amazing deal. Yeah, it is only a matter of time before everyone has a Powerwall and Tesla AI controlling it at their home.
But Tesla is just a car company.
And DeSantis blocked direct-to-customer car sales for most brands, but not Tesla. What? That's new. The Florida Senate passed House Bill 637 and Governor Ron DeSantis has signed it into law. The measure effectively blocks automakers from bypassing dealerships to sell vehicles directly to customers. But the law doesn't apply to all companies. In short, if automakers didn't have dealers with independent dealers in the state before the law, they can sell directly. If you had a dealer, you have to go through a dealer. And Tesla patents steer-by-wire to reduce fault and avoid failure while driving. Steer-by-wire means that the steering impulse are transmitted to the wheels not through a mechanical connection as usual, but electronically. In addition, a steer-by-wire system can also improve the vehicle's driving experience and maneuverability by allowing innovative features and design, and Tesla will of course be able to make changes to it with an over-the-air update. And Rivian to unveil the R2-D2.
R2-D2, Your Highness.
No, sorry, just the R2 vehicle early in 2024. Rivian's CFO confirms that the highly anticipated R2 vehicle will make its grand debut at the beginning of 2024. And look at it, it looks cool. If this concept picture is going to be close to the production version, it is definitely going to look very, very nice. And should have a starting price between $40,000 to $60,000, so that would be very cool too. But Rivian is still struggling with ramping up production of the R1, so it seems a bit early to start production of a whole new vehicle before the others are completely ramped up and profitable. But I hope they can make it all work, because I really would like to see this car. Looks very, very nice. And speaking of Rivian, they have now joined the growing group of OEMs that want to be part of Tesla's charging network, as they will also adapt Tesla's North American charging standard. And Hyundai is considering it as well, of course. Still no word from the Germans. They will probably be the last to join, but when everyone else has joined, it's only a matter of time before they will do it as well if they want to be at the party. One who does not want to join the party is Lucid, of course. Peter Rawlinson, Lucid CEO, was out saying it is just a plug, not important. Okay, but I do agree with Facade here. How could your customer base, who prioritize luxury, not prefer a much more convenient charging experience? Amen to that. But it is not just automakers and charging providers that are jumping on board Tesla's standard. Now states are starting to getting on board as well. Texas announced that it is going to require Tesla's North American charging standard connectors on charging stations in the state, giving the connector another boost in becoming the standard for the charging in North America. And BRICS's trade deal puts EU electric car export to the UK at risk. The European Automobile Manufacturers Association, ACA, warns that the EU car electric export to the UK could face a 10% tariff, risking an estimated annual 30 billion euros in trade by 2026. The tariff would apply if less than 45% of the vehicle's value is sourced from the EU or the UK. IKEA has called for amendments to the Brexit trade deal and a bridging mechanism over the next 3 years to address the issue. Chinese dominance in supplying chemicals critical for electric car batteries is a key challenge in meeting the trade deal's requirements. Stellantis threatened to close UK operation if the rules are enforced in January. The European Commission has acknowledged IKEA's concern, but any change to the deal remains uncertain. And during Elon Musk's visit to France, he estimated that Neuralink would start its first human trial before the end of this year. It looks like the first case will be later this year, Elon said during an interview at the Viva Tech event in Paris. And if you like a little slow, relaxing jazz music, one of my patrons has actually just released a music album. Sean LeBras, a former Supporter of the Week winner. I even met him at the Fully Charged live show over in the US, a very nice guy and a big Tesla fan, but I will leave a link to his album down below if you want to check it out on Spotify and Apple Music. And French energy provider Neoen, that built the Hornsdale power plant in South Australia with Tesla back in 2018, just won a contract to build a new big battery plant in West Australia. It's their first major project in West Australia. Tesla will of course be the one supplying 224 of its Tesla 2XL Megapacks. So that would be about $448 million in revenue for Tesla, or about $134 million in profit if Tesla has about 30% gross margin on their new LFP Megapacks. So not bad. And Mercedes-Benz recalls over 8,500 of its EVs for faulty software for the EQS and EQE. But get this, while both fixes are an over-the-air software update, they will have to be downloaded and installed by a dealer. Yeah, I know, it's insane. That is German luxury for you there in 2023. Imagine if you every time your iPhone needed a software update, you had to send it back to an Apple store for them to do it. And it took 8 hours. Yeah, I would probably not be an iPhone user if that was the case. Another OEM that have software issues are Hyundai. NHTSA is hitting the Hyundai Ioniq 5 with a safety probe of nearly 40,000 units after reports of the vehicle completely losing power were reported by owners. There are no instances of crashes or injury, but one owner said that their vehicle were traveling at 75 miles per hour on the highway and the advanced highway assist feature was activated. The vehicle was suddenly completely unresponsive, and the driver was forced to coast to a stop on the side of the highway. Yeah, that's not good. Yes, software is hard, as this person also found out as he took the Ioniq 6 for a test drive, and this was one reason why he decided not to get one after he test drove it.
Here we got an Ioniq 6 and an infotainment screen which suddenly turned black and doesn't react to anything. Just googled a bit and found out that there's a reset button like in a Windows mobile phone from 15 years ago. And it's rebooting. Cool. I'm supposed to drive carefully. And I'm not able to acknowledge. That's normal. There's some kind of time delay, it seems. It's happened before.
Auto Trader awards Tesla Model Y the best new car for families. This is quite a big deal, as Auto Trader entire business is about selling ICE vehicles and advertising to vendors for ICE vehicles, and Tesla is like the only OEM that has not been giving Auto Trader any money in advertising. So for them to give in and give Tesla's Model Y this award shows us that the tides are truly turning and they can't hide the truth anymore. The Model Y is just a superior vehicle. As one enthusiastic owner puts it, it's about the balance of speed, economy and quality with big handful of fun and practicality thrown in. And Auto Trader wrote, enough said, well done, Tesla. And another week, another meeting with world leaders for Elon. How he managed to do all he does is beyond my understanding, but this week it was with Indian Prime Minister, where they talked about energy and spirituality according to the tweet from the Prime Minister. Energy would definitely be a good business case for Tesla in India, maybe a new Megapack factory and helping India to utilize all that sunshine that hits the country and store it to make electricity cheaper and help stabilize their grid. Big opportunity for Tesla Energy in India, but let's hear a bit from Elon Musk himself.
Well, I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world.
The takeaways from the meeting.
Takeaways from the meeting. He really cares about India because he's pushing us to make significant investments in India, which it is something that we intend to do. and we're just trying to figure out the right timing. Yeah, well, I think there's a tremendous amount of potential for all three pillars of the sustainable energy future. The three pillars being sustainable energy generation through solar and wind primarily, and obviously India is great for solar, the amount of land area you actually need to generate enough electricity to power India is very small. I believe it'd be probably 1 or 2% of the land area of India. So it's very doable. And then you need to pair that with stationary battery packs because the sun doesn't shine at night. And then you need electric vehicles, and then you have a sustainable energy future. And I think it will. The interesting thing people will find is that this is a lower cost way to go as well. That may surprise people. And we're also hopefully looking forward to bringing Starlink to India as well. The Starlink internet, which I think can be incredibly helpful for sort of remote or rural villages where they perhaps may have no access to internet, or the internet is very expensive and slow.
Do you plan to visit India anytime soon? But did the Prime Minister extend an invitation to you?
He did, yes, I'm tentatively planning to visit India again next year.
And Holmar's catalog tweeted how good the new full self-driving beta release was. As he wrote, feels very smooth and refined. And Elon replied, they are actually much more than point releases, but the team is reserving 11.420 for the big one. And Holmars also shared this video of him doing a real ride-sharing drive with zero human inputs on Tesla full self-driving beta 11.4.4. And Elon replied, actually, Smart Auto Wiper software release is in about 3 weeks. Very nice, can't wait for that one. Our patent, actually, Smart Summon, is probably a month or two after that. Sounds good. And China continues to push the EV transition by extending the purchase tax exemption for new energy vehicle again, which was set to expire at the end of this year, but now it's set to the end of 2025 instead. And last week I talked about the videos showing thousands of BYDs sitting and rotting away somewhere in China. And this week, my good buddy Brian from My Tesla Weekend showed off 3 big lots filled with thousands of Ford Brancos sitting and rotting away. So it seems like there are some trouble in demand they are not talking about. And last week, I could also talk about Volkswagen might be living off their backlog. So the problems for the legacy automakers might be bigger than what is visible right now, but not something they can hide forever. So maybe we will see a bubble or two burst in the not so distant future. I will leave a link to Brian's full video down below. And we also got to see the 2023 list of most American-made vehicles. You would expect to see a lot of American brands here, but there is only one American brand on the top 10, and that is of course Tesla. They also sit on the first 4 spots. So if you Americans want the most American car made, and made by American brand, well, the Tesla Model Y is the one to get. Also shows Tesla is trying to localize as much of their production as possible. And Robert from the Fully Charged show shared on Twitter that finally the mainstream media is waking up, and Channel 4 is doing something about the absurd tax break subsidies we give to the fossil fuel industry. And Mary is traveling in her electric bus, sharing with the world that in the UK they spend about £42 million every week on oil and gas subsidies. Yes, people tend to forget that we spend billions of dollars every year in subsidizing fossil fuel. And also saying you can't get electric vehicles without subsidies. Well, we are subsidizing the hell out of the fossil fuel. A conservative estimate from Oil Change International put the US total at around $20.5 billion annually. We are going to save a lot of money when we have a renewable energy economy, just as Tesla and many others has been pointing out. And Tesla should be in the process of buying Wiferion, a wireless charging company for both electric vehicles and robots. So not something that has been officially released yet, but it should be very plausible. And we might get closer to some of that cool shit that Tesla showed off at the Investor Day. And Ray for Tesla shared that Li Auto just released a full promo video demonstrating their autonomous vehicles. And just look at this simulation here. That does look suspiciously like the Tesla full self-driving beta, doesn't it? But they are still relying on LiDAR and radar to do the driving. And after a little back and forth on Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk says they are ready to fight in a cage match. Now that would be entertaining. Not sure the board members would ever let this happen, but let me know who you think would win this one. My money would probably be on Elon Musk. He's a huge guy, and he has a secret move, as he wrote. I have a great move that I call the walrus, where I just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing. And Toyota's European boss says that the automaker will be ready for 100% EV from 2035 in Europe. That will be long after most of the car makers will already have shifted. So it's not really going to matter much what they plan after 2030 in my opinion, as I think most of the new car sales will be electric in Europe at that point. So Toyota, you're still a bit late to the party. And Bloomberg wrote that a deep-pocket US government program designed to finance futuristic energy business is issuing a conditional $9.2 billion loan to Ford for the construction of 3 battery factories. The enormous loan, by far the biggest government backing for a US automaker since the bailout of GM in the 2009 financial crisis. But Tesla wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the $465 million loan they got back in 2010 that they paid back early with interest. Still waiting for GM to pay back their bailout from 2009 though, and they just got another $2.5 billion loan last year. Let's see if GM and Ford will ever pay back those loans. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out and thanks to all the supporters of the show, like Goldie1, that is always one of the first in the comment section. I think he holds the title as the one with the most first comments in my videos, and he's just upgraded his YouTube members to become a Best in Tesla superhero. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Gatheridios Mauricio, or something like that. I believe it's a Spanish name. I don't speak Spanish at all, so sorry for butchering your name. But thank you so much for all your support. He has been a thank you for watching member for more than 33 months. Thank you. Please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address so I can send you your Supporter of the Week winner t-shirt. And let's end off with a bit of fun. You know when you just want to be left alone, there is always one, the one to push your buttons. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to become an executive producer and getting news articles every day, Monday to Friday, the video series Becoming News, and access to all my research and charts and spreadsheets and so on, head over to Best in Tesla and join with the members button. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can for as little as $1 become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.